Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to do an update on Contura Energy CTRA. If you've been following my channel, you know this is a stock that I've owned since around August of last year, and since then it's gone up more than 100%. And we've been getting some more good news for this company, so I'm going to break that down in this video and talk about why I think there still is a lot more upside for Contura Energy over the next year. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps out my channel a ton and it helps other people find these videos. Alright, so let's get right into it. In terms of the stock price, the stock has rallied in the past week and is right back at the recent high, over $14. Recovered very nicely from that last pullback that we saw right at the beginning of January. So good news on that front, and I think the stock may be getting ready for another move upward. Now, one thing that came out a few weeks ago that's specific to the company is that Kontura appoints a new CFO and president, and this is someone that's been working in the company for a number of years. And so it's always good to see this someone that's come up through the company being promoted to a position like CFO and president. And so you can see that in this article. There are promotions within executive leadership team as part of the company's long-term succession planning process. Eidson will continue his existing duties as CFO, along with the new responsibilities as president, and the board unanimously voted to promote Roger Nicholson to executive vice president. So again, no problems here. This is all good news. You know, having people that have worked in the company for a number of years being promoted a lot better than having executives leave, which is usually not a good sign. Now, the next thing we're going to take a look at is the price of coal. As I touched on in my last video, the prices of commodities have been going up over the past few months. And this is no exception for coal. Just a beautiful chart. When I first bought into this company, coal was sitting at under $50 a ton. And since then, we've just seen a monster run, now sitting at over $84 a ton. So now we can zoom out a little bit and take a look at the longer term chart. And so far, my thesis for this company has been right. We've been seeing coal perform almost exactly the same way as it did after the 2016 election, where again, the price of coal was sitting in the low 50s. And then right after that, within the next year, ran all the way up to over $100 a ton. So I do still potentially see that happening, and I do think we could get over $100 a ton in coal within this next year in 2021. We can take a look at the analysis from this website. Coal futures fell below $85 per ton after touching their highest level since May 2019 as investors paused for breath following the recent rally. Prices have been recently supported by colder than usual temperatures in many parts of the north, as well as industrial demand from China. And then additionally, environmental concerns and ban on imports means that coal mines were not operating, leading to supply restrictions and production cuts. And then in addition to this, another thing that's huge for the price of coal is China, who is the world's largest user of coal. China has an embargo on Australian coal imports that has lingered on for months. And so China has been replacing these imports with coal purchases from other countries like South Africa, Russia, and even the United States. So again, this is very good news for the price of coal. As I've said in all my previous videos talking about the stock, the main thesis for coal is going to be that demand from China. You know, as most of the developed world is trying to transition away from coal, China seems to have no plans to do that and is just going to keep buying coal and if anything is probably going to be using more coal in the coming years, not less. Here's another article I found talking about China specifically and how the demand for coal in China is off the charts. We see here that China imported 39 million tons of coal, up 234% from the previous month. And so this is talking about December, and even in November there were reports of increased demand for coal, and so that is just accelerating. Even in December 2019, a year ago, there was only 2.7 million tons. Now they're importing 39 million tons. So this is this huge demand that's not going to go anywhere. And from my perspective, I think that really puts a floor under the price of coal. And then China's full year coal purchases had the 5th straight year of growth. So like I said, China is moving towards more coal usage, not less. And this is something else that's been going on in China. Since they're having a shortage of coal, there's actually been power outages. And so a large part of this is because China put a ban on Australian coal. I'm not sure on the specific reason for that, but since China hasn't been buying coal from Australia, which is usually where they buy the bulk of the coal from, they've been looking towards other countries, which results in higher prices and less supply for everyone else. So here it's saying prices of coal in China have shot up as a result of the shortage, and they will probably remain high during the peak winter demand period. And China's already been attempting things like power rationing to try to last longer on the supply they have. And doing this is ultimately going to put more upward pressure on the price of coal. And so as a result, this thesis for the price of coal going up and therefore Kontura Energy doing well is looking very good at the moment. Now that being said, this could all change in the blink of an eye. If all of a sudden China does something like, say, they're moving towards renewable energy, that would be a massive hit on the price of coal, but I do not expect that happening anytime soon. Now, in terms of where I see Contura Energy stock going, you can take a look at the longer term chart, and they've had a nice run over the past 6 months or so, but they're still nowhere near where I think they could be if the price of coal remains as high as it is right now. And so in my original video, I said this stock could be worth $60 a share if coal prices remain elevated, and they're well on their way to doing that. They're over $80 a ton. I'm expecting $100 a ton or more sometime this year. And if that does happen and Kontura executes on their plans to continue cutting costs, to keep paying down the debt, at $100 coal, Contura Energy will be able to generate a lot of cash. And then a lot of that's going to be used for paying down the debt. And then after that, probably a large amount will go into stock buybacks and maybe dividends. And so because of that, I'm not selling any of this stock. I'm sort of just along for the ride now and going to wait it out to see what ends up happening. Now, I haven't been buying anymore at these levels either. I entered in my whole position back in August, and then the stock was around $4 a share. And I went in knowing that this was going to be a smaller size position for me, so I'm probably not going to add any more. I have enough allocated to the stock that I'm comfortable with, and now we're just going to see what happens. Now, something I did pick up a few shares in are Contura Energy warrants. So Contura Energy actually has warrants out there that act in a very similar way to options. And if Contura Energy does go to $60 or $80 a share, there would be a very large move in the price of these warrants. Now, I'm not recommending anyone buys these warrants. There are a lot of risks with them. The first thing is that they're not even on a real exchange. They're traded over the pink sheets. And so because of that, there's going to be extremely low volume and it's going to be very volatile. You see the average volume is just 100 of these warrants per day. So very low volume. They expire in 2023, and I think the strike price is somewhere in the $40. I'm not exactly sure. I have to look at that again. So these will only end up being worth something if Contura Energy does go above $40, $50, $60 per share. If not, they'll end up worthless. And because of that, I just entered a very tiny position in these warrants. My Contura Energy position was already small, and these warrant positions is only a fraction of that. So hardly anything. So I don't care if they end up worthless, but they do provide some nice optionality if the bull case for coal continues and we do see Kontura eventually recover to those high prices. So that's it for this video. I want to make a quick update on Contura Energy and how coal prices are doing. Like I said, I'm not selling this stock anytime soon, and I still do see potential for a lot of upside. That's it for this video. If you found value, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So that's it for now, and I'll see you next time.